things and all that good jazz. Without further ado, it's Mr. So True himself, True Man False World, reporting live, Fierce 2022, and the scene. We got Trav, the DVR czar, pulling double duty with me tonight. Of course, Vic Jr., scout extraordinary here. We might see, hey, Mo knows. Where will Mo show up? We don't know, but he may be here tonight. Might want to catch with some of his thoughts on some things. And the historian is also going to stop by here as well, coming up here in a few minutes. So let's dive right into it. Fellas, let's start with you, Trav. How we doing this evening?
Hey man, again, the double duty is real, man. But hey, this is me. This is what I do. This is what I show up for, man. Let's get this thing going, man.
And Vic, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Man, nothing much, man. Just living it up. Study some prospects this week. We're gonna discuss some prospects and stuff like that. There's some interesting players in this draft that people are not talking about. So I mean, this is just gonna be another fun draft coming up. And then of course free agency. Excited to talk about some of that. So get it started.
So let's start at the top. The top of this whole thing is what? We're going to talk about quarterbacks. We got to start the show off the right way. So we're going to go jump right into it. Quarterback talk 101. We got a quarterback that's going to potentially be on the move. That's a big name. But let's start with the quarterback in passing. Mr. Drew Brees passing the torch on to Mr. Taysom Hill, it looks like, which is going on right now in New Orleans. Fellas, Drew Brees is retiring, leaving the game. We're finally seeing the end of the Drew Brees era in New Orleans. Drafted in 2000, I believe it was, second round pick of that of Mr. LaDainian Tomlinson being the first round pick that year. Messed up his shoulder. The Chargers haven't had much success since. He since then has at least won one Super Bowl, has been one of the best passers we've seen in football over the stretch from 2006. Went to a team that Hurricane Katrina, no hope, so many things going against that organization in that town. He was a big part of that town being able to pick themselves back up. Shouts out to him for that. But first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. It's going to be hard to keep him out with some of those records that he has. But fellas, Drew Brees, let's talk about him. I'm going to start with you, Trav.
As much as I hate watching him play against my team and skinning them alive, including this year in the regular season, he deserves every bit of accolade that he gets as far as the Hall of Fame, as far as everything. I mean, he's been the constant pro. Besides that little stuff that he did not too long ago, and he had to erase that off his record. Other than that, I'm not going to put that towards him because we're talking about his football aspects and we're going to keep it true football. But Drew Brees he's a pro. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has broke plenty of records. And hey, man, great career. But it's time to go for you, man. It's just time to go.
Vic?
Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Trav said, ultimately it was a tremendous career, set a lot of records. What he did in the regular season was incredible. Some of the players that he was able to get, help out in their careers as well, elevate their games. He made a lot of players some money, made himself a lot of money, and made himself a big name down there in New Orleans. Despite some of that, that little recent hiccup before the season started. This dude, I mean, at the end of the day, he deserves credit for what he was able to do for that community and that area. Elevate a lot of people's, confidence and bringing that city something to cheer for, is what they were able to accomplish there. And he is a big part of it. Obviously towards the end of his career, you can see some of the things that he wasn't able to do anymore. But other than that, I mean, like you said, man, first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the best to ever do it. And just congratulations to him. I mean, he finally made the decision. It looked like at one point he was going to come back. So who knows what happened behind the scenes there, especially with their cap situation. But again, just shout out to him and what he was able to do and stuff like that.
So with that being said, I don't want to pass the torch too fast, but we got Taysom Hill, 4 years, 140 million, team friendly, null and void, whatever year that they choose. Fellas, let's call it what it is right now at this moment. What is going on with this organization right now currently? Are they in a spot where this organization can say they're ready to give the keys to their organization to a guy who's unproven, who is not a good passer right now, and pretty much you know that your playbook is limited? Vic, let's start with you here. And shouts out to my guy Ham for dropping by in the building. Where do we go from here? We don't have any money. We're trying to get up under the cap, obviously, which is why we're restructuring everybody and then some. So what are we going to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to discuss it a little bit more as we go along here, but it's interesting how they have to make several moves to get under the cap, but yet they're franchise tagging the safety.
Marcus
I don't know
Williams.
if that's something. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the plan is. I would think it would be reckless in their part if they're not looking to try to add to that position in this upcoming draft. There is some kids that can be, some good prospects for that system and for that city. So, I would think they're looking at the draft and just to go with Taysom Hill as a number one guy to me seems like a little reckless. So I mean that's what I think they're most likely going to be doing. I mean, you would think this is a professional coach and Sean Payton. This is a professional scouts, professional GM. I would think that they're looking in the draft to add to that position.
Trav, you are at our residence NFC South correspondent. That's what we're gonna call you today, correspondent. Taysom Hill, how do you feel about the player? Does he scare you? What are your thoughts?
Do he scare me as a quarterback? No. Hell no. No, he don't scare me as a quarterback. He's more he's more valuable in that split position that he's been in, like he's playing wide out or he's playing wing T back or wherever special place you want to put him at as him being a specialist. But him as you come into the right place to be a quarterback for me as a Tampa Bay fan. Please be a quarterback. Please be a quarterback. Please be a quarterback.
Ham, I'm just gonna come and bring you right into it, man. What are your thoughts?
New Orleans in general?
You can do New Orleans in general too. That's fine.
I get the case with them. I think it's like they put their eggs in one basket to try to win for so long, win again for so long, even a decade after they won. And with the current structure of salaries, the way that things are, look like they in over their head. It's kind of shameful to say that about a professional football team, but it's like, how are they gonna maneuver with this? That's the biggest question that I got. Because when you scoop me on game list late in the season, Jerry, I've been thinking about it since then. Like, how the hell are they gonna get through, through this in general?
They've restructured every major contract that they have, and they're still trying to find ways to restructure, to convert things into bonuses, to make room. This is the year of the restructure because with the pandemic-driven year, the salary cap went down to 100 in that 180s when it was projecting up to the 200s. So no revenue from the fans this year. Wow, we're back down to 185.
No revenue from the fans this year. You gave this dude who really don't throw the ball that much a lot of money to throw the ball, and the dude that you had throwing the ball, he older than me. Well, kind of pretty much par for the course is what they got going on as far as how everything, I guess, played out.
Mm-hmm.
You dominated both times in the regular season, but then in the playoffs, you lost to an eventual Super Bowl champion. We all know how tough that is to beat somebody 3 times, especially in that light in the NFL in that way. It's tough get out. I didn't get my salute to Drew Brees though overall, for his career and whatnot. Dope run. He did something special, so just in regards to what he was able to do in the city of New Orleans. He actually made Mardi Gras. He extended Mardi Gras. When you really think about it, you know what I'm saying, from that standpoint, because that night they won the Super Bowl, Mardi Gras began. And it was straight parties, whatever with them. They got close to getting back to that. And in my lifetime, the Saints have been known for a lot of futility. So for him to actually have that designation of Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP for that city, for that town, especially after all what they went through on the Mother Nature end. More than kudos to him for that. But it looked like he getting on down just at the right time before things get real chaotic around there. So, hey, hats off to him, though. Happy trails, as they say on PTI.
So, the big news that we're going to discuss before we get into draft prospects. The Chicago Bears have restructured a few of their big guys on the contract tip, and they are said to be going after one Russell Wilson. Now, here's the even bigger news. It has been confirmed that Russell Wilson has not only said he's intrigued by the market, but he is also intrigued by the offense.
Really?
Next, the Bears are going to be putting together a significant offer for this player. It is said through them for that organization. They're trying to clear up cap space. They're trying to do the whole 9 yards right now so they can make a move at this player. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to go to Vic last here. Historically, J. Ham, because I'm going to ask everybody a question here. Historically, J. Ham, when has a quarterback ever said they want to go to Chicago?
As far as from what I know, never, because Chicago has always been the spot. It's been known as a place where receivers go to die.
Oh, man.
That was the narrative on Chicago in general. If you want to just add some extra context, they haven't had an all-pro quarterback since 1950. I don't know if the wind got anything to do with it. I don't know if it's Lake Michigan. I don't know if it's they don't like, Giordano's with deep dish crust, or they don't like the wing sauce over at Harold's.
Oh, man.
They couldn't get tickets to the Chicago Theater. I don't know what it is. Jerm, you asked me something before we even went on. You was like, who's the last free agent to go to Chicago? And the only response was Carlos Boozer. Because I can't think of none. Maybe the Cubs got one. Vic, you can help me out with that. Your non-major league watching that. Another story. Had to get it, Vic. Had to get it. But
well, I'll drink to that.
but no, man, cats just don't just offer up to go to Chicago, Chief. It get a little frosty up there. Now, market size, I understand what Russ looking at. I mean, it's the third largest market in America. I mean, if he got plans, he got plans. The offense, I feel him there. But is this more of him just being frustrated in a huff, or is he like, yo, let's do this?
Trav, my question to you. Russ going to Chicago potentially. If you're a team like Chicago that has that defense, knowing that he has one with a major defense, is this a place that you say, you know what? We get him, we buy ourselves 2-3 years worth of time, we may have a chance to get us a Super Bowl.
You do, because he has already been in a situation before to where his defense somewhat carried him, which was the Legion of Boom. That defense is somewhat set up. Is those corners somewhat the same? No. Do you have it's just the secondary and whole? But your front seven is pretty decent. Your front seven is pretty good. So anything can happen, especially with that in that quarterback position. Just like we seen down south. Not to compare it, but if you got a quarterback that can keep your offense on the field to give your defense rest, your defense can make plays on the other side of the ball. And if Russ decides to go to Chicago, that can possibly happen.
Vic, I ain't even gonna ask you a question. Go ahead.
I mean, so just to piggyback a little bit of what Ham said at first, there's got to be some things going on behind the scenes in Seattle. I mean, for him to say he's intrigued by that offense, coming from the offense that he has right now with an up and coming DK Metcalf, and who knows what potential that kid could reach, it's saying something about what's exactly is going on. And I'm pretty sure down the line we'll find out some stories, some things will come out if this move is made, if he leaves Seattle. We'll find out a little bit more as to what's going on. But, I mean, when you look at Chicago's offense, you got Allen Robinson. I'm not sure exactly if he's coming back or if they franchise him.
I believe Allen Robinson was franchised.
Right. So he'll be there. You got David Montgomery, which we feel can probably, be upgraded and that offensive line. So, I mean, Russ is at another level to me. He has been able to achieve that level where I think you can put the team on his back and he can carry you. But of course, he's still going to need some pieces. I mean, it's not that kind of situation where it's just him and nothing else. They need a defense and they got it. And he's got some pieces to throw to and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird for me to see him in a Bears uniform. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think he is the quality type of quarterback to take that team to a long playoff run.
So let me just put this all out there as well, because this is the big key. The big key is Mooney is a big key piece here for the Russell Wilson migration over to Chicago. He is said to be a key piece as well. They got 17 tight ends. I mean, so that's about 4 more than what Seattle normally has. And then to make everything a little bit more upfront and honest, I said that this is the time that Russ in his career, he probably does need a tight end. So now you got a couple of different guys you're going to be able to use in that role. So let's see what you get. So Vic said he wants to talk draft prospects. So just so y'all know, this is not scripted. I don't know who he wants to talk about. He don't know who I would like to talk about. Ham, go ahead.
Can I get a scouting report on my man Kenneth Gainwell? At some point.
What we'll do is we'll break down. We'll do a positional breakdown, because what Vic doesn't know is I already have a document already put together with some positional players already started.
That's who Vic been talking about too.
Well, Gainwell.
Go ahead,
Vic, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you go ahead and lead us off into it, because obviously you brought it up.
Yeah. No, we could start with Gainwell. I mean, it's just somebody that I brought up to Trav and Ham, specifically Trav, because of he's a Bucs fan, and he we would like to see Brady with a kind of James White kind of running back, but also Ham being from Memphis, and that's where Gainwell is. First of all, I thought the name was perfect for a running back.
I did too.
Kenneth Gainwell, hopefully he gains well in the NFL for whatever team he goes to. But I mean, this is a kid that has some James White type features to me, except that he looks like he might be a little bit better in between the tackles. All right, he's not that big physical running back that you look for, that bell cow. But I mean, when you talk about route running from the backfield, route running from the slot, he has tremendous skills there. He catches very well. You can see the ball, just kind of fall into his hands comfortably. The speed is I think way above average, close to elite. We're gonna see what his numbers are in terms of his run, his 40 time and things like that. But his acceleration, I mean, the kid looks like a special running back that you can get in the second round. Along with, I know Jerem likes Jaquan Patterson out of North Carolina. So there's a lot of talk about Najee Harris. There's a lot of Javonte Williams. My fault. I don't know Jaquan Patterson. Whoa, Javonte Williams. But there's a lot of talk about Najee Harris. There's a lot of talk about the kid from Clemson, Travis Etienne. I don't even know how to pronounce this kid's last name.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, but I mean, these kids. I mean, I know German and I, we're gonna get to them a lot. When it comes to Kenneth Gainwell and Jaquan Williams, those are some special running backs that some teams could get in the early second round and stuff like that.
So we got a lot of different guys here that we can talk about. I'm actually going to go to the beef. Rashon Slater, Northwestern. That is a player. Very extensive, very good in his kick step coming out of his pass sets. Very, very, very good with anchoring and being able to absorb contact. Very, very good at getting, and he's elite at getting to the next level. 6'3", 315 or so. I think he projects as a guard to the next level. But when I tell you that I see some great tackle traits, I see great tackle traits. I'm talking about that elite level quickness to be able to mirror pass rushers. He neutralized Chase Young for a good portion of that Northwestern game last year. It looked like he deserved to play tackle. So I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I'm going to say that is a top 10 player right there.
Yes.
Exceptional. Go ahead, Vic.
Well, Germ, that is the number one guy I had on my list that I studied these past couple of weeks. So Rashon Slater, once again, tackle out of Northwestern, purple team. I mean, bro, to be honest, I'm going to just go to the only thing that concerns me about this kid, because that's how good I think this kid is going to be, is that 6'3" height that you mentioned. Because as good as the kid is that we felt that's playing for New England now, that came out of Georgia, which his name escapes me.
It's
Anyway, when that comes to mind,
go ahead.
I mean, both of these kids, quality feet, quality pass sets, quality ability to move in, around in space, pulling, getting to the second level, strength for their size, right? Because they use their size to anchor at the tackle position. I mean, Slater, his numbers for his pro day were tremendous. I think he jumped about a 35-inch vertical or something like that, something crazy like that. His 40 was 4.88 for a tackle. So, Jared, I mean, this is one of these situations, man, where like we like our tackles, we like our left tackles to have some good length to them, pause. But this kid, I don't know, bro. Like, we look at Sewell from Oregon, who the media pushes as the best tackle in this draft, and rightfully so the kid can play. But the reason why he gets so much push is because he has a Heisman vote. Okay, this is a tackle that had a Heisman vote. So that goes to show you where he is. But I know German, I agree, is he looks like a all-pro guard in this coming out in this draft. But just his body and stuff like that. But Slater, even though he's a 6'3" tackle, this kid might be able to sneak in as a left tackle in the NFL, Germ. So, I mean, the Bengals are going to be able to shoot at two guys here, and with that 5th overall pick. Shout out to Josh Storms. I know he's out here watching us. These are two quality prospects. Whether they draft them at tackle or guard, which, by the way, was the position that got Joe Burrow hurt, was from the guard position, the left guard position. Okay. They got a chance to get an all-pro if they want at the 5th pick there.
I like I said, I think Trav, and I'm gonna get you back in here as well. I'm looking at some of these players that we've been scouting just in general. Like I said, I did Slater. Actually, Tanya's seen some of Slater with me. Shouts out to the first lady. She's seen some of Slater with me, and I actually went through and I showed her the arm length was not where we wanted to be, right. And I showed her, the hips and the torso, the butt area, pause of the actual player. It's actually that of a guard. Everything about him screams guard, but then he starts playing, and you say, "Well, but damn, that looks like a tackle." So I'm having fun with this kid. I haven't seen anything in this kid that has not told me that he can't be an all-pro at left guard, right tackle, and we may have ourselves a left tackle potentially.
I mean, what is something we talk about all the time? Can you name 32? Can you name 15? Can you name 10 great players at that position? So if he were to jump in as a left tackle, where would he be? He'll be better than Donovan Smith. I'll tell you that right now. so
Trav, that's a perfect segue for Trav. Trav, as we approach the draft this year, do you feel like with the first round pick with the Bucks drafting at 32, do you feel like if a guy like this falls, you think that should be a guy that they should aim for?
You better. Because I'm going to tell you like this. For us to draft a rookie for a right tackle and make it to the Super Bowl and win it,
that's crazy.
Donovan is out of contract. He can go. You get a nice young rookie in. Yes, that line is young, but if the right tackle can take upon Marpet and all them to be as hungry, especially like number 66 too, just think they get that rookie in and have them hungry like that also. We really gonna be smacking mouths. We're gonna be popping folks, man. Of course, Donovan Smith. We'll see you later.
Trav, but what if I told you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know you saw it because you watched the film a little bit with us and you do your thing. Donovan Smith played his ass off, bro, in the playoffs. What you got to say about that?
And that's the thing. When it came down to playoff football, Donovan Smith actually held up. But on the business side of things, again, he's out of money with us. He can go. He
has a non-guaranteed contract, pretty much. So,
right,
kind of where we are with that situation. So, Vic, real quick before I come back to you, bro. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. I'm looking through YouTube real quick. Category 5. He said he can't wait for the Views mock draft, bro. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna put this list together. Shouts out to Style here. Hey, Siobhan, thanks for showing up. KG. We got Jeff Hallman. Big Jeff said, will the Bears get their all-pro quarterback or their Pro Bowl quarterback? They may. Said, I'm firing out the gate. Hey, bro, I'm just trying to give y'all, as the people, what y'all need. And category 5, of course, as we talked about, he said, Bobby Hart damn near ruined this man. He is the bane of our existence at the moment. Well, seeing that he means that, I'm going to let him have that.
Yeah. No, he showed, shout out to Josh. He posted some clips of Bobby Hart that somebody put out on Twitter this week on the in the group. And I mean, some of those plays, man, it's just, how do these guys make it to the NFL with the kind of effort that, somebody like him put up is scary. And, just basically putting your quarterback in harm's way. And I mean, the Bengals got to do nothing but focusing on whatever they can to protect Joe Burrow. Cause you know how we feel about him and his potential.
His ceiling and upside. Yep. I'm going to say this to y'all. This is the time right here, real quick, as I say, because Tanya agreed. She said the dude was amazing in the comments. Shouts out to her. And Jaquan said that the Steelers also need a left tackle, which the Steelers can do a lot of things on the offensive line, period, this offseason, especially in a free agency and in the draft. But I'm the most impressive thing about this year is it seems like all of these linemen that are the upper echelon linemen are pretty solid players. They all have very good traits when it comes down to leverage. It looks like they're all extremely very good benders at the knees, especially. I haven't seen too many stiff guys this year. Pause. And it's very, very, very interesting just how naturally gifted some of these guys are. Like I said, a natural knee bender is something that we talk about at these positions. I'm liking some of these kids, Vic. So as we go, we're going to take the last 15 minutes of the show here. What's some other guys that you've been keeping an eye on this off season?
Yeah, so no, I was looking up just now some of the measurements to compare Rashon to Jedrick Willis and Tristan Wirfs, but we'll get to that in a second. A couple other guys that I was looking at, Germ, the Farley kid out of Virginia, the cornerback that everybody is hyping up as probably the best cornerback in this draft. Listen, that's a tremendous football player. I thought that this was going to be a draft where the cornerback position was going to be a little soft, like last year, because they're pushing that Alabama kid a lot, Patrick Surtain's, son.
He's not better than Farley.
Nah, he's not. He's not even close to Farley. As a matter of fact, I forgot who I was talking to, but I think Farley is probably a 2-3 grade, Trav, right now. I don't even think he's a first round pick. He might get picked there.
You talk about Surtain?
Yeah, Patrick Surtain. To me, he looks like a 2-3 right now. This is a kid that seems a little stiff in some areas. The man coverage is not great. Might be just a zone defender. But we'll get to him in the future. But Farley, that's a different level right there. Like, that kid is incredible talent. I see you, Germ, agreeing to that. So what do you got to say?
I like him, and I like J.C. Horn.
I heard the name.
J.C. Horn, South Carolina.
Okay.
So J.C. Horn is the South Carolina kid. He primarily plays more man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Those two kids are first round grades to me.
Okay.
Surtain is a zone defender. That's what he is. In fact, I know he's a zone defender because that's where he's the most comfortable. When you notice when he gets to keep everything in front of him, he's able to point and use his IQ. That's the strongest part of the player is the IQ. It's not the physical traits. So I'm looking forward to continuing to get some more stuff on him. His 40 time, I'm telling you, Vic, is going to be a 4.55 or 4.6. I'm telling you what it's going to be. I'm not saying it. That's it.
What does Farley look like to you?
He looks like a 4.44.
Okay.
With the way he plays in the hip, he has to be a 4.44 guy because he can't be a 4.5 playing like that. That's not
This kid is almost 6'2",
and he doesn't look leggy. He looks like a natural knee bender. See why that goes to the quarterback position now. J.C. Horn is also 6'1" and some change. So we got some 6'1", 6'2" players that are natural knee benders with very loose hips. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all off season.
Right. This is a kid, like I said, like we just said, he's tall, he's got long limbs, but also, the speed looks incredible. His ability to click and turn is a scouting term for which he has to basically click his hips, turn, and run with the receiver. Incredible fluidity there. And then just the top end speed, the ability. There was a play, I think against, I think if it was North Carolina, where he baited the quarterback to make a play deep. He thought the receiver was going to be open up the seam through a slot from the slot. And
he was able to come from the outside to come inside.
He had the pick. Yeah, yep. It looked like he had outside outside zone, like in a cover 3. And before once the quarterback let go of the ball, that's when you see him all of a sudden, like he was looking at the receiver, and it looked like his eye might have been watching the quarterback or something. Because the quarterback lets go of the ball, then he turns and just takes off to a spot, and that speed. We weren't big fans of the kid in Ohio State, and I forgot who came out last year, to be honest.
Last year was Jeffrey Okudah, and
so it was.
It was Okudah and Damon Arnett from Ohio State last year.
Okay, so that was last year. It kind of felt like long ago for obvious reasons, but I like this kid much better than Okudah. So.
Well, I do too. I think he's on that Marshawn Lattimore tier for me. Where I think he's a surefire guy that you can come in and bring in and play every down. I like him personally as one of those guys that I'm ready to put him in the top 10 of my draft. type of energy. I think he's a top 10 player in this class.
Dude, that nasty.
Yeah, see if my corner can click and turn and click and bait, and he's good at identifying and finding the ball. I like that energy. Yep, and not to mention ball skills turn you from a B+ player to an A+ player right away, because that makes you a playmaker at the position immediately. That means when that ball is in the air, that means you got a chance to get it. So now an 80-20 ball is a 50-50 ball because he got ball skills like the receiver.
Like the receiver, correct.
Right. And I mean, it's rare. Like we talked about, Gemini, we talk about a lot. Jair Alexander was one of his favorite prospects coming out, one of his favorite cornerbacks, and easily probably paid top 3 cornerback this season. And you could see, and including in the championship game against the Bucks, how he was able to catch that deflection off of Mike Evans' hands. I mean, if y'all really watch football, you will see that a lot of cornerbacks drop plays like that.
They dropped it.
It's
his ball skills are incredible, man.
Right. It looks simple, but they just don't. And this is why, if you haven't heard the term before, DBs are receivers that never made it. Why? Because they don't have those ball skills. They don't have those hands. So it's Jair Alexander and who else really? There's probably about 4 or 5 corners you can say has tremendous ball skills. And this Farley kid looks like so far he has that ability, just in addition to what, the other traits that we see in him.
So is there anybody else that you have on your list?
I also looked at the kid from Georgia during the pass rusher, and the kid from Miami. I don't even know how to pronounce these kids' name. The Georgia kid's
Gregory?
name. The Miami kid is Gregory Rousseau or something like that.
So you watched Greg. So you didn't watch the other Phillips? Did you watch Phillips as well?
No, he's the other pass rusher from Miami.
So it's Phillips and then it's Gregory. Gregory and Phillips.
Okay. No, I just watched Gregory mostly.
Okay. Watch Phillips and we'll talk about Phillips.
Okay.
Phillips looks like both of those players are going to be outside 34 guys.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outside edge. I watched some more of Micah Parsons. He's a top 5 player in this class, period. He's a better linebacker than Roquan Smith was as a prospect, and he's the second best one, slightly behind Devin White. He has every skill, every trait. His ability to sugar the A-gap is elite. The ability to time his blitz, the ability to find the ball, the ability to mirror these quarterbacks in some of these schemes and find people is incredible. But the player that I am going to put my stamp on today is Penn State, number 28, the pass rusher. I believe his name is J. O-Air or something like that. I will get you the spelling. I think it's O-E-H something. This dude is different. This is different. I've never seen a
what
defense.
Position is this?
He is a pass rusher.
Edge rush.
He is the best edge rusher in this class by a mile. I want y'all to know.
Before you go and going back to the linebackers.
Yes.
What about my guy number 11 at Penn State?
See, Micah Parsons, what makes him so elite is he has every physical tool to go along with the IQ. Like you can tell he actually watches film. Mm-hmm. I've seen some plays where he's sniffing out things, and you know that some of it is instinct, but it's instinct to just get up the field and meet somebody at a mesh point. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing the pass rush technique coming from the edge to the inside, blitzing. Everything from this kid just looks so fluid. Like that is a 5-star player. That's a blue chipper. Ladies and gentlemen, a blue chipper is franchise talent. That's a player you never leave your organization.
Right. Not only that, because when you talk about Raekwon and Devin Smith, they're smaller in size.
Devin White.
Devin White. So some of the concerns are their longevity, right? But this kid looks like he packs up a little bit more size. If I'm not
He's
mistaken,
about
Jeremy.
6'3". He's about 6'3".
Yeah, I mean, so this
The
is
only
a kid
difference
that's going to
is
be.
Devin White was 6'1", but he was about 240 pounds.
Yeah.
So Devin was that's an action figure. Micah looks a little bit more slender and a little bit more lean, but Devin, why Devin is still the best is for two reasons. Devin didn't have anything, and he made that defense relevant just with him being in the middle. They had to double him like he was Ray Lewis on run plays.
And he's still getting there.
He still was knocking folks over. So it's a Micah is different. Don't get me wrong. Micah Parsons is my second favorite one, maybe by a couple points. You know how we do it in scouting? We do it by points. That's a couple point difference, Vic. I think as a blitzer, he's A. He checks off a lot of boxes. I think frame wise is where I have to give him a little knock. I think he's I don't know if he's 230 or if he's like 225. I want him to add a couple pounds, but everything else is incredible.
So then we got to look at the kid from Georgia as well. Then like Aziz Adular or something like that. This kid is a pure edge rusher. Jeremy, the concern with him looks like that he is just might be a pass rushing specialist in the NFL. But again, that's a position that a lot of teams would obviously want to have. Is that consistent pass rushing down in and down out. And I think that this kid from Georgia might be able to bring that. Obviously, like I said, concerns are with, against the run and stuff like that, his size against the run. But in terms of a pure edge rusher from that right end position, this kid looks like, the real deal. So, of course, I mean, we got some guys to look at. Again, the edge rusher does not look like it's deep in this class. But, we'll see what happens. Of course, the views from the 22, we take our own, what we see on our own studies, and we'll put up a board. You can go, we got the boards as receipts. You can go back and check how good we've done.
So right quick, let me just shout out to Big Jeff. He said, y'all got a chance to study the Jeremiah JOK Notre Dame linebacker safety yet? I've seen a little bit of him. I'm going to give you a grade. I'll actually hit you up personally about him. And shouts out to Tanya because she actually watched some of that player with me. His name is Jason Owen. So it's JAYSONOWEH, Vic. That player, number 28, is JAYSONOWEH. That player.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Check him out. Number 28. He's number 28, just so you know. So not only is he electric, but then it's a pass rusher with a running back number. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And he said that he's going to run a sub 4.4, by the way.
Yeah, so more of the pro days should be happening, right?
Pro days are so just so as we get ready to wrap up the show, pro days are on their way. We're going to have a lot of pro days coming up and things of that nature. So we're going to get to see a lot of these guys 40 times, their measurables and everything. I'm so excited for this part of the year because we get to see everything. I get to then go back after I see these guys be fast. I get to go and then correlate to the film. The edge rusher from Georgia, before we wrap up. What's his name again? The 2A name, right?
It's like AC's. I think it's AZECZ. So and it's Adular OJULAR. So it's one of those names that it's unique and obviously different, but it looks like he looks like a first round pass rusher so far.
Length and speed are his keys. Quick twitch ability. You know who he reminds me of a little bit? Manny Lawson. Lawson. I'm gonna have to give you his name. I'm gonna have to give you.
Yeah,
give you who he is.
I know you're talking about.
But he was a 49er, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why am I bringing him up? Because he should have like a 1.5 split because he's gonna be able to get there from here to here. But where you're gonna be able to get him is you're gonna be able to get him as the more refined tackles are able to use hook techniques and things like that and get into some of their pass sets. And it looks like strength is going to be another thing that we have to focus on with him. So we're going to have some fun with this. We got a free agent show coming up on Wednesday. We'll get you guys the time and everything like that. Don't worry. Trav, final thoughts.
Hey man, this pro day and the results are going to be crazy, man. So again, stay tuned to the views of the 22, man, because they're gonna put it out for you and they're gonna put these folks on the draft board. And then we're gonna have the fantasy draft coming up. So just stay tuned and we got y'all, man. So stay tuned, man.
Oh,
Yep, and
Tanya.
shouts out to Storms too as well on YouTube. He said Manny Lawson played for Cincinnati about 6 years ago as well.
Yeah.
And then Tanya said, yeah, she know about dude. He fast AF.
Aziz Aguilar. Yep.
Yes. So it's gonna be interesting for sure. Vic, final thoughts, man, for the show.
Yeah, I mean, looking forward to the draft. Whatever we do and all the studying that we're gonna do for this. And just look forward to it. I mean, again, like you guys, Jeffrey threw a name out here. If you got a name for us that you want us to study and get a report to you, we always free to do that. And of course, Zoom is also available to get in the film lab with us. So we're here.
We got the whole 9 yards. We got everything cooking. So everybody's available. Everybody's makes yourself available for the lab. Final thoughts is make sure you guys follow us again. Scene_the. That's on Twitter. The_scene on Twitch. The.scene on Instagram. Of course, the YouTube channel, The Scene. Facebook, SCEN. Make sure you like the pages. Make sure you guys check in tomorrow night. Be on. We're going to continue to discuss 94 Feet of Life. We got Greg Jones, our guy G2, stopping by. We're going to help you guys with all of you good bracket information and get you guys prepared for March Madness. Tuesday, we got Stoppage Time FC coming back with another one. And then Wednesday, we got the free agent show from Views from the 22. And we also got the dish coming back with starring Vic Jr. too, y'all. He finally came to the baseball show. We're going to come back and we're going to get y'all lineup. We're going to put together a 9-player lineup. And, man, then we got Friday Fun. Y'all already know 94 Feet of Lifestyle. We'll announce all of that stuff tomorrow what the Friday Fun's going to be. The Scene. Make sure you guys are following. Make sure you guys are subscribed. And make sure you guys tell a friend. The movement is upon us. And we are here. We out, y'all. Take it easy.